So this is the broadcast tool here, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in all its glory. You can see the notation. You can also see the engine evaluation next to each move, and also how long they spend.
What I like is you can make your own moves on the board. You can check the alternatives to what the players did. And even for the moves you make, you get the computer evaluation here.
Fantastic.
I think you get it quicker and better as a premium member, such as yours truly. What I also like, there is a chat function. You can exchange things with people from all over the world. If you want to see something else, let's say you're watching a tournament and you want to see all the games at once, no problem displaying. I have no idea how many games there are, like 128 games at the same time. Can do even more. This is a team competition. You click on multi-board.
That's beautiful.
You can see all the 8 games going on at once.
You can see the games and standings, which
What we got? I'll click around. Games and standings here.
Yeah. Analysis, if we click on that tab,
Let's click on it.
You can see that it's a great little graphical illustration. The red line is 0, that is the absolute even mark. And if the white bars go up, the further up they go, the bigger the advantage. And the black bars show a black advantage.
Then there's a database, and here we get the alternatives. And if we click on a move in the database, bam, it gets played on the board.
Fantastic. And then the PGN can even be downloaded.
I like that feature.
Yeah.
Whatever tournament or game you're following, you click it and you open it in the program of your choice.
Yeah, and one of the great things I like to see as well is when we get a video from the playing hall. I like to see them in their seats, nervous.
Hello, and this is the Tani channel today. We've been talking to Tani for a bit now. I always feel slightly weird saying hi to Tani again, but yeah, this is the next session in our intermittent coaching, and today I will be giving Tani some puzzles and watching him solve that. And I think the way we will do it is I will be asking you to solve the entire thing blindfold without me moving pieces on the board. I think some of them are harder, some of them are easier, but I think all of them should be very manageable for you.
Wow, and that makes it 100 times harder.
Yeah, and we are going to make it. I rate you a little bit too highly to let you get away with moving pieces, honestly. I think you're a little bit too good to move pieces. So I will be, unless we encounter serious difficulties, I will be trying to make you calculate the entire thing to the end before we start moving pieces on the board. And the first one is an old study by Sam Lloyd, who I don't know if you know who Sam Lloyd is. I wouldn't be able to give you his entire life story, but he was a very, very fascinating character. I think if you just find a Wikipedia article afterwards and read up on him a little bit, he was a very, very interesting guy who, once again, it will be extremely shameful if I get these things wrong, but I think he also, apart from his work in the field of creating studies for chess, he created some games which became a huge success. I think he created the game 15, which I don't know if you know what that is.
Game 15?
It's I don't know the English name for it, but basically it's a game where you have 15 pieces numbered from 1 to 15 in a 4x4 square, and you can only move, and basically one square is empty. If you imagine it like a half of a chessboard, not 1/4 of a chessboard, right?
Yeah.
And it's occupied by 15 pieces numbered from 1 to 15, and you can only move one piece at a time using the free square, right? And you have to reorder.
Is it basically like
Go
So
on.
is it like you can place pieces and open squares? You cannot go through the ranks of
No, no,
3, 2, and 1?
yeah, but basically there's one empty square, and you can move anything that is adjacent to that square. You can move to it. Like if, let's say, an A1 square is empty, you can
Mhm.
put the piece from A2 to A1, and this will make the A2 square empty. And then you can
Okay.
make something from B2 to A2 and so on. And your task is to put them in the correct order. So basically they go from 1 to 15 from top to bottom. And it's actually, I used to have that as a kid, and it's a very interesting interesting little game. And the funny thing is, some positions just don't have any solutions. Like if you I wouldn't be able to explain to you why, but basically there are certain positions which can be solved and certain positions which cannot. But okay, probably I'm not I'm not supposed to tell you too much about Samuel Lloyd, but it's something that kind of fascinated me when I was younger. Anyway, what do we think about this position? We obviously are not winning it. We would like to make a draw.
No. So we're white, right?
Yeah, we are in all of the positions. I think not in all of the positions. In most of the positions, we will be playing white. Yes.
Okay. Do I have to do it blindfolded or something?
I would prefer it if you did the entire thing blindfold. I don't think there is a single position today which you cannot do blindfold. Some of them harder.
So what do I do?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can definitely talk. Like
I just
I'm not
memorize
gonna.
the position and cover my eyes?
No, you don't need to do it like properly blindfold. You can also. I think it will be useful if you describe your thought process, but I am not going to be putting anything you say on the board until you tell me this is your final solution.
Oh, okay. So. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Wow. If the bishop was on b5, I would love this.
Yeah, that would be simpler for sure. But we're not in the business of giving you extremely simple positions here.
What about bishop d7?
Let's continue. Let's continue this line of thought, right? You go bishop d7. Black probably plays h2.
h2.
Yeah.
King e2.
King g1.
Then king g1. Okay. Every bishop move. Bishop d7, h2. Check. He goes king g1 and knight g2 check. Okay.
Yeah, that appears to be
I have a weird feeling.
Go on.
Wait, did I forget? He still has that move. No, it doesn't work. Water everywhere.
What do you mean water everywhere?
The snow I got. It's just melting.
You brought snow from the outside.
Yes.
Yeah, snow doesn't function very well inside, not for very long, I think. Is there a lot of snow outside right now?
Yeah, it's so much. I can't tell you how much. Everywhere is covered with snow. You basically you can't see a thing.
Well, I'm from Russia, so you're not going to surprise me with the idea of a lot of snow, but
okay. What about
so back to the position, yeah.
Okay, king e2. He's likely to go.
You mean right now?
Mm-hmm.
If you go king e2 right now, I guess I think the biggest problem is black wants to play king g1 and then knight g2. I think this is the biggest issue you have here.
Wait. Yeah, that's my point. So if you go king e2 and he goes king g1.
Yeah. I think we're a little bit stuck, honestly.
Oh, he goes king g1. Oh, then you go bishop d7. And when he goes h2, it doesn't work. There's no check. Because king e2, h2, maybe my plan might work.
Yeah, king e2, h2, maybe we would be okay, even though I'm not altogether certain we will be okay, actually.
Bishop c6, king g1, bishop h1.
Yeah, and then I think knight g2 is a position in which you're in Zugzwang, right? You're almost there. You're basically one final detail away from solving this, right? You got all the pieces of the solution right in your head, but you have to now put them in the proper order.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think for our audience, I think it's better if we actually start showing some things. Because the position we're discussing is king e2, let's say h2, although I think king g1 is probably more of a problem. Let's say
it's
check. And in this position after bishop h1, black does have the move knight g2, and white doesn't have a good reply.
What about king f3?
Yeah, but then you can just take and go knight e3. This is the issue, right? Because we take away the f1 square from the king on f2, and then the king comes out and the pawn wins. So this is what we're trying to not allow to happen. This is exactly what we have to make sure it doesn't happen here.
Okay.
So how do we do that?
I thought you would give me easier ones.
Honestly, I thought you would solve this in about a.
Bishop d7.
Okay.
What about bishop d7 first?
Yes.
Then king bishop c6.
Yes.
And now bishop h1.
Yeah, this is the thing, and I wanted to I honestly I thought you would tell me this in like in a minute.
Because
yeah, and the thing is, this is actually
yeah,
it's actually a position of a mutual Zugzwang, because with white to move we actually lose here.
Yeah.
With white to move we have to go king e2, and black will once again go knight g2 and have to resign. But with black to move, basically in a position like this, you have to put your king on the square or the same color that the knight is on. So with the knight on g2, we go king f1, and if black takes straight away, the knight is on a dark square, so we go king f2.
Wait,
so you have to do
second.
it. You have to do it in such a way. Sure, yeah. Go on.
The water is gone.
Okay. So yeah, this is a setup that you kind of need to know in these positions, that you always have to put your king on such a square that black can give you checks, because the check you can just reply to the check, and the knight can never actually make you leave the f1 f2 squares. But if it's your move in this position, you are kind of doomed. So you have to avoid that. Okay, this was more difficult than I anticipated, so I'll give you something that will actually.
No, just give me the same puzzle.
Yeah, no, I mean they're all very different. So let's give you something.
Give me like something similar to this, like puzzle.
Let's break it. Let's break it up a little bit. Let's give you a position with more pieces, which I honestly think will take you 10 seconds. White.
Okay. Rook takes h6, takes, queen takes, rook h7, queen takes f8, bishop takes f8, rook g8 mate.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what I expected. Like endgame positions will be a bit more of a problem for you, but this is not difficult. This is not difficult. Okay, let's we cheered you up a little bit. Let's go back to the endgames.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the endgames. This one is actually, I think, slightly simpler than.
Wait. I'm not sure I know this. Wait.
I'm waiting.
What is this?
Wait,
I think it's. I'm not sure. Rook takes f5.
Yeah, rook takes f5 is an obvious.
Yeah, rook takes f5, I think.
Yeah.
And now what's the move? I know you're supposed to. What's the move? This is not from memory. I'm just thinking.
I understand. Yeah, of course.
Ask me for force. What about rook takes a5?
I should actually not let you ask me questions. You should be telling me the solution. But this is, of course, the solution, because black has no checks, and you end up starting giving checks from the sides, and you win here. It's a very cute geometric puzzle. Let's say if after queen c1, what do we do?
Queen c1, you still go check on h6.
Exactly. And you go rook h6. The king is completely trapped, and then you win it with a skewer. Yeah, these are not very difficult. Another one which I also think will take you about 10 seconds is this one.
What's this? Okay, rook f8, queen h8, take mate.
Exactly. Yeah. This is not very hard. Let's get the ones which.
There's just some puzzles where I maybe take like 30 seconds and just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I think that the issue with puzzles is, I think even if this was your blitz game, you would still find it very easily. But the problem with a position like this,
I mean,
I don't mean. Go on.
If it's a blitz game, or like a puzzle.
No, but there's a very big difference between this being a blitz game.
Let's say you're down on time. Like, let's say you're down on time. You have to go for checks or something. Maybe that might get you to something decent, but like, yeah.
The difference between this being a puzzle and this being a practical game is that when I give you this as a puzzle, you know the solution exists. So it immediately is much easier because you can immediately switch to the you can immediately switch to the the attitude that you have to find the forcing solution, and then of course you start by calculating all the checks, and then you get to the correct solution. So it's not very hard. Let's take a look at this one then.
Oh, what's this?
And honestly, I'm going back to the previous. Setup. I'm not gonna let you do it one move at a time.
96 check. King g8 or h8 loses to queen b8.
Okay, good.
If f takes e8, if f takes e6, queen f8 mate.
Mm-hmm.
If queen takes, queen h6 check.
Absolutely.
If king g8 or king h8, there's queen f8, and after king takes, there's bishop a8 mate.
This is the right answer.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
It is a very nice nice puzzle to solve. But once again, I feel like these will never really create any problems for you because you are very nicely in tune with the idea of giving mate. I'm trying to find something which is less about giving mate and more about.
I mean, this has to be forcing moves.
Yeah. So.
Or just queen
how about this, Tani? Then.
Wow. Good one. You got me. I mean, just take the queen, and then rook takes two.
Actually, yeah. This is a bit of an unfair one because you can just take on c5 and take on b4, but there is a nicer solution, a solution which wins more material. So.
Why not rook d8?
Yeah, I think rook d8 is what they want from us here. If the rook takes, of course, we take the queen, and if the king takes, we have the fork from b7.
Oh, it's also more complicated because after bishop takes and bishop takes b4, you're up a piece, you're winning the game. But then after rook takes f2.
Yeah, it might take a while. It might take a while for us to win this position. We might even not win it every single time. We are probably favored to win it, but we're not gonna win it.
And the extra pawn is also like dead hanging.
Yeah, this one is falling, and I guess we play rook d2 here, and black plays something like, I don't know, rook f4, rook f5, and the game definitely.
Why not trade and take on a4?
I think you probably have better chances of holding this position as black with the rooks on. I think this one you probably lose because you're just never going to have any counterplay. I just bring the king in, and eventually, because I think you might be able to trade the guy on g5, but you're never ever trading the one on h2, and it will end up winning the game. I would, if I were playing this position with black, I would be trying to keep as many pieces as possible on the board, which is why I was choosing between rook f4 and rook f5 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are kind of As I suspected, we might be running out of material a little bit too quickly. But okay, I have some endgames for you. How about this one?
Okay. This has to be a forced one. You can't go there, it would be a draw. I think it has to be something so. It feels unnecessary, but Rook G1. It just
Why
like
why does it feel
and
unnecessary though? What
I
else?
mean, not
What else do you have?
unnecessary. It just feels so. What? How is that actually the answer? But yeah, it's Rook G1.
Yeah, Rook G1
Has
is.
to be.
I think it's good that you see moves like this, because I think it's very easy for your brain just to refuse to even acknowledge that this move exists.
Yeah,
But yeah,
take in G7, you queen, and you take the pawn.
yeah, this is the simple one. And if Black doesn't take on G1 and plays something like, I don't know, Rook King F8, for instance, you just take
I
on
mean,
you
take the
take
pawn and you're
G2,
winning.
and it's a very easily
Winning.
winning Rook endgame, because also Rook A2 is a huge threat. So yeah, it's not very difficult to convert from here. Okay, one more Rook ending for you then. This one has a trick to it.
Rooks.
Because yeah, it looks like there's a nice technical solution, but you have to
Wait.
correctly assess if the technical solution is
Wait.
actually winning or not.
There. Yes. This is insane. B7.
Okay.
Rook A7. Rook E1 check. Rook E7.
Nicely done, Tani. Yeah, this is a very nice forest line. But the big question is, why doesn't Rook C1 win?
Oh, because of. Ah.
This is what I wanted to ask you.
This is because of Rook G2 check.
Yeah, I think maybe even starting with King D7 is also quite efficient. The point
Because
is,
you have
and then you start giving checks, and you
the
give
king
checks.
can't stay on F7 forever.
Yeah, as soon as the king leaves the seventh and eighth rank, the rook will go back to the back rank and cover the b pawn, and it's a draw. But yeah, you have to see Rook E7, but Rook E7 does work very very beautifully, stopping the pin for just enough time to queen our b pawn, and we win. Have you ever had an opportunity to test yourself how easy it is to win queen against Rook, by the way?
It's pretty. I guess a 78% chance you're gonna win, but I know how to do it. Oh, want to do a game now?
Yeah, I mean, I've not necessarily, but I have some very bad.
About queen and rook.
I have some very bad experiences personally with that endgame, but yeah, I mean, it's quite comfortably winning if you know what you're doing. But I'm not the best.
Once I was about to break 2000, and I was like some 1900 yet. I was about to break 2000, and then I had a game. I was winning. It was a queen and rook. I had the queen.
Mm-hmm.
I successfully took his pawn. So now it was 50 moves.
Yeah.
I had his king in the corner. All I needed was 5 moves, and I was won his rook. And then I don't know. I successfully blundered, and it was a draw. Before you know it, it was like 50 moves is over. Bam. I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
It's
this
just
happened.
about to be.
Yeah, this happened to me in you were trying to get to 2000, and I was playing in the World Cup quarterfinals, which is slightly so a slightly more serious competition, and I did not win.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah, I didn't win queen against rook against Boris Gelfand once, which wasn't. It was obviously we were playing on increment, and it was obviously late in the day and so on. But this is one of the things people are still making fun of me about. Let's put it like this. It's definitely not the proudest moment of my career. Okay, but nice solving. Let's move on to the next one. This one you may have seen, and even if you haven't seen it, you should be able to see what this is about.
What is this?
I think
Is
maybe
it like b6, king takes, and rook h6?
Yeah, I think the point of this position is there are some very, very famous positions in which people
I have never seen this puzzle before.
in which people have resigned in winning positions, and I have a feeling this may be one of them.
Oh my god.
I think maybe somebody actually resigned here instead of playing b6, rook h6 and winning.
Oh my god.
But I'm not 100% certain, and it is another topic on which I probably should stay very, very silent. The topic of resigning when you shouldn't be resigning is something that is very dear to my heart. But yeah, that's the solution.
Wait, did you actually have a game where you're winning and you resign?
Not in winning positions, no. But I have resigned some drawn positions. Well, some is a bit of an overstatement. I resigned one drawn position, and yeah, people never let me forget it. And now I told you, so you can also use it to bully me. You have my official permission. Okay, we are now getting to positions which are actually probably going to give you a little bit more of a problem. The next one is from a reasonably famous game. I should even know what the tournament is, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Hungarian grandmaster Lajos Portis playing the white pieces, and Gary on the black side. And Lajos played d6 here, and it is black to move.
Yeah. Black to move.
Yeah. First of all, you have to kind of assess if you're even worse, right? It's an important thing to decide if you actually if maybe you are supposed to be playing for a win here. But I don't think you are. I think d7 is too strong of a threat for you to be playing for a win here. And then your next question.
No, I think I see it.
Go on.
Rook takes d2.
Queen takes.
Queen f3.
Queen g2.
Knight g3. Queen h5, and
Yep. That's the important thing is, of course, here to start with queen f3 to make sure white goes queen g2.
First, I was thinking that rook a1, and you win with some knight g3, knight e2 check, take the queen. But queen takes a1.
Yeah, unfortunately, white controls this square with both of his pieces. So you go queen f3. If rook g2, you obviously have those two checks, and if queen g2, you have this setup, which is kind of useful to know that rook and queen cannot actually avoid the perpetual here. This is like a.
You try all the different ways. You're like, oh, I'm winning, but no, it's just a draw.
Yeah, it's always going to be a perpetual here. Okay, I think we're almost out of the simple ones.
Give me a hard one.
Hang on a second. I think we are being rescued because the producers of the show have realized that we are going to run out of material very, very quickly. So I have been rescued by the producer team. Hang on, let me just.
Is that good for me or not?
I don't know. Because we're actually getting to the ones which might create some issues for you. Let's look at this. But for the time being,
my first instinct is push. But
well, if you push, you will have the
rook takes d4.
Rook takes c7.
Rook c1.
I think I can play maybe even king f8 there. Let's put this on the board for a second.
Rook takes d4.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, black. It's actually black played a5 here, not but doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. So you go rook d4.
Yeah, rook takes d4.
Yeah.
Oh, you take on c7.
Yeah.
Ouch, that hurt. Ouch, that hurt. Rook d8, you take, and Rook d1, and you Rook d8.
Okay, that
I
wasn't
didn't know you played Rook takes d7. I thought you
okay.
played another Rook.
Yeah, after Rook takes
So,
d4. So you were expecting this, yeah?
yeah, I was expecting that. That's why. It's
And
like
then
tunnel vision.
Rook c1.
Rook one, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
that's quite good. Yeah. And there is no stopping b7, b8, and white wins a piece up endgame, because like d3, b7, rook goes somewhere, we go b8, and the d pawn doesn't actually create any threats for black at all. But yeah, the important trick, of course, is to see rook d8 check. And I have a feeling that considering the fact that black actually played a6, a5 in this position, I think this is probably what Dukstein blundered, because I think he was actually trying to tempt his opponent to play rook takes d4, and he thought he will take on c7, white takes, he takes, and then the king runs to the d7 square.
You
And
should have sacked.
yeah, and yeah, of course, I think if it's your move here with black, you just
Oh,
without even thinking, you take on c7 twice. And I would probably suggest black is playing for a win here, because look at this structure.
maybe.
What is
Yeah,
this
it's just
structure?
disgusting.
Yeah, and I have a feeling white will have a very difficult time even making a draw in this position. And instead he played a5.
No, this is
Instead, he played a5, and that is more or less resigns. Okay, and we have. One sec. We have some more positions. Let me just make sure I have them. First off, this position. It's a famous position, but I can't figure out where I know it from. It's a reasonably famous position, actually. And while you're thinking, I'll get some more stuff.
okay. This looks.
Yeah, it's a practical game. I have a feeling I should even know which game it is, but I'm blanking on the names right now. And I was wondering if
d6?
I was wondering if it will take you 1 second to solve or not, because I think solving a position like this is a lot easier for somebody who has a reasonably long, a reasonable experience of solving specifically studies.
Okay. Let me see.
Studies and like mate in 3 tasks, because it's a kind of a
Oh, you talk now.
it's basically the solution here is sort of instantly recognizable for somebody who knows how like mate in 3 studies work.
Yeah, it's bishop c7.
Yeah, it's right? Bishop c7, because there's even a name for it in mate in 3 in mate in X number of moves studies. It's called, once again, I might be wrong, but I think this is called the Novotny crossing, where basically there are 2 squares which need to be controlled at all times, and you put a piece on the crossing of the file and the rank that black pieces need to control it, and depending on what you take with, you get blown up. Yeah, you get blown up, and you get mated, because you can't control both c5 and b7 anymore. So after bishop c7, we're creating this threat, and depending on which black takes, depending on which piece black takes with, you overload that piece, and then you give mate next move. And once again, obviously, it helps a great deal to know that the solution exists in this position. But knowing that this motif exists, it's a very nice move. But the more positions you solve in your life, the more it will become like your eye should be very, very drawn to the c7 square here. It has to be like at some point it will just become an instinctive reaction for you, because you will realize that sort of this is how these things work. They almost always want you to do something like this. So
Yeah,
you will.
something very. What is happening?
Yeah. Okay. And the last one is kind of tricky, because when I was sent this bunch of puzzles today, I actually solved it, and I solved it the way I want you to solve it. But actually, it's objectively the position doesn't have a solution. But once again, I think you are supposed to kind of guess what they want from us here.
This is a draw.
I don't know. I didn't check
feel
properly.
like
I don't know if white even has a draw. This is the funny part.
No, I think
don't-
this is a draw. It's.
How?
I think no, it's not a draw. What am I saying? No, it's not a draw. It's not a draw. He has a rook d7 at the end.
Yeah. So the point about this position is there is a very beautiful sort of geometric idea you can try for. You can sort of create a very, very
Rook
beautiful. Yeah, like you want to play rook a3 here, right?
Yeah.
It's really, really nice to leave the queen on f4 hanging, and
Hey, take my queen, man.
yeah, just take it, because we give this very beautiful line mate with one rook controlling the 7th and one rook controlling the 6th.
I feel like I know this puzzle, but it's similar to some.
And like in a blitz game, what would you play here with black? The next question would be, what's your move in this position if you're black?
In a blitz game?
Yeah, like let's say you really don't have much time, and there is this huge
Oh,
threat
I don't
of rook
have
a6.
much time.
Yeah, and there is this huge threat of rook a6 mate. So what do you play?
Probably.
Let's
E5.
get. E5 rook a6, you don't really save anything. Rook a6, it needs to be stopped. You can't really allow rook a6 check. If you play something like this,
the rook c7.
Yeah, you will just lose, right? So rook c7 is how do you respond to rook c7 here if this is your position?
Take. If my
I think you should probably actually start with a check.
Oh, just.
I'm not going to give you any more hints. Actually, I think I'm making it a little bit too easy for you. There is a 4 sequence here which wins for white. So you should, and it's not very difficult, so you should be able to find it.
Rook a6 check.
Yeah, the king goes here.
7 and queen d6.
Queen d6 probably also wins actually, but there's a simpler solution even. Queen d6, yeah, queen d6 actually is maybe even I like queen d6. I'm not gonna ask you for more, because rook g7 we have this very beautiful queen c6 mate. What I was kind of expecting you to tell me is this. You can just take the rook. If black takes, we have rook a7 check.
I mean, queen d6 is forced to me.
Yeah, but queen d6 is very beautiful. I'm not going to pretend it's in any way.
Because the king's here, you take queen takes, rook a6, king d7, queen a6.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful move. So you get more points for this, not less points. Yeah. So rook c7 loses, e5 or something loses. So how do we stop rook a6? And like the most obvious way to stop rook a6 here is to play king b6, just to cover it physically.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Rook. You said?
Rook what?
Oh, just rook g. Rook g a7.
Yeah, but then they take, right?
Okay, yeah, they take.
Yeah, so is this why I said there's no solution? Is this the end of our attack? You look like you...
Yeah, I think this is the end of your attack.
Really? I'm slightly playing with you here, obviously, but you almost got there. You have to sort of believe in our setup.
Queen d6 check.
Yes.
Oh, that's the.
This is extremely beautiful.
Oh.
This is extremely nice because black is a full queen and a piece up, and seems like all of black's pieces are around the king and are helping in the defense. But actually, there is nothing that stops rook 3 a6 mate.
Yeah,
And
that's
if
very
rook
beautiful.
c6, if rook c6, this is not difficult for you either, I guess. Yeah, this is just mate in 3 with checks or mate in 4, whatever. How do we do it? I mean, rook
After
a6
rook-
also wins.
Oh,
But
after rook c6.
yeah.
Queen c5.
Yeah, queen c5 is, if you want style
You
points,
take?
if you want style points, you do this. Yeah.
No, if you want style points, this is what you do. Go back.
You
Go
go on.
back. You take with your b pawn if you want.
Yeah,
style
b pawn
points.
is probably nicer. Yeah, I don't know why I took with the d pawn, honestly.
Because of just different.
Yeah, so this is not actually why our attack ends. But when I looked at the file again, I realized that black can actually go knight d7 in this position, and this is
Wow.
kind of sad because after knight d7 there actually is no mate at all. The knight just comes to b6, and our attack is
GG.
struggling. No, you can still continue with queen d2. Who knows what's going on?
I mean,
we have some
this
threats, but
yeah.
but this is kind of sad because we had such a beautiful thing going on, and
I know the knight d7 just ruins the whole thing.
and it's no longer working. Yeah, so unfortunately rook a3 is not winning, but it's kind of worth it to show this position, just to show this very, very beautiful king b6 queen d6 sequence. Let me stop the share for a second, and we have some more examples. I'll reshare in 1 second.
1 second is fast.
Well, not 1 second. 1 second is probably a bit of an overstatement. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I think I'm ready with the share. So this will be the last 4 positions where all of them are from very high level grandmaster practice. I did not know this one, but it's it shouldn't really. I'm not going to ask you to show me the entire solution from start to finish, but you should be able to figure out what I want from you generally. First of all, let's discuss sort of what do we think about this position in general. How would you, with white to move, if you had this position with white, what would be your general feeling? Would you be happy? Would you be sad? Would you feel like things are going okay? Would you feel like things aren't really going all that well?
I guess things aren't going the best way.
Yeah, things aren't really going all that hot, honestly, because this is a Nimzo Indian. I'm pretty sure if I ask you what opening this was, you should be probably able to recognize it. Even the exact line of the Nimzo Indian, I think, is reconstructible. This is the Queen C2 Nimzo.
Yep.
And it has not gone well for white because somehow there's already quite a lot of counterplay on the queen side happening, and we haven't really developed. And the file in front of my eyes say that you are supposed to play bishop b2 here, but bishop b2 basically is a pawn sacrifice, because in the end of that line, queen b6 attacks the f2 square, f2 pawn, and the b4 pawn.
At c5.
Yeah, but like it's almost lost. I think c5 you are lost. I think you play something like, I don't know, e3 and knight d2 and hope that you are somehow still alive, but it's not very good. I think if you want to fight on here, I think you're supposed to play b5, trying to trying to keep the A file closed, and in general, trying to keep the position as closed as possible. But even if black just goes b6 here, and then bishop b7, rook c8, there's this beautiful square on c5 for the knights, and black is ahead in
This is not
development.
good.
Yeah, it's not going to be very pretty for white. And I think because of all of these considerations, the player playing the white pieces, Grandmaster Honfi, he played knight d2 here. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't very happy about this choice, but he thought maybe this will allow me to survive for a while. And here, I think black is doing fine in general, but like, what's your immediate reaction when you see this?
D5?
Yeah, d5 is a very solid move. There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing d5 here. I guess white will take and play. I don't even know what you're supposed to do with white. d5, maybe we go. It's a good move. I'm not going to criticize d5, honestly. I think it's completely fine. But is there a way to maybe be even more forceful here with black is my question. The reason I'm asking is I think it should feel to somebody like you, I think, because you, from what I've seen of your chess, you are, very much an attacking player and a player who likes, initiative and playing aggressively. You should be looking at this and thinking, white is sort of completely undeveloped, and there might be a way to go for even more than just a very comfortable, nice position with good chances. And like, how do I'll once again, I'm sort of trying to prompt you to suggest that, but like, how would you feel about taking on f2 here? And like, honestly, did the idea of taking on f2 occur to you here, or do you think it's too much?
It did.
So obviously the starting point is here, and the way you could be thinking about this is white is very, very poorly developed. There is obviously a problem with the long diagonal because the rook on a1.
Queen f6 attack.
Yeah, the rook on a1 is going to be endgame. So you start by going, you get to this position and you realize that if the king goes back, sorry, it can't go to d1, but if the king goes back to either g1 or e1, honestly, there's
also queen d4 threat.
Yeah, and also queen d4.
Mate.
Yeah, you basically lose the rook on a1 here, trying to make sure that the king on g1 doesn't get mated. And if the king goes to e1, queen f6 once again creates a threat of taking the rook, and it also creates a threat of queen f2 and knight e3 mate.
I give bishop b2, you check, king d1.
Yeah, you can play knight b3 here, but after knight b3, one final quiet move, a5, a4, and we will just win back this piece, and the king on e1 will never castle again, obviously, because it has moved. And if the king goes forward, this is kind of tricky, because I think if the king goes forward, it's not so obvious that white is completely busted. But knowing what we know about how difficult it is to defend the king when it has to leave the safety of the back rank, if you start calculating a position like this, I think you probably come to the conclusion that this is at least playable. Although, honestly, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, white is probably not completely defenseless. White didn't play the rest of the game particularly well. I'm going to. It's this is not a puzzle in the strictest sense of the word, because I think giving the entire solution here is very difficult. But I will ask you. It's curious to me how you would approach if this was your position with white. I think there's only one move that you kind of have to make here. I would be extremely surprised if you like for me, I wouldn't even consider anything else. And apparently, the player who played the white pieces here, who is a grandmaster, made a move which I'm looking at it on my screen and I'm thinking, why would you ever play that?
Yeah, it's like queen
And
g5.
so I think you're supposed to play knight of 3 here, because you want all of your pieces around your king, and you want to be, trying to defend your king with everything. Although I think I figured out why he didn't play it, but it's still not a good enough reason. I think the reason here is I'm going to once again ask you to find the last part of the solution here. I think the reason is black gives this check, you play bishop f4, and now I want you to give me a specific 2-move sequence here that probably is very strong.
Hmm.
I think I figured out why he didn't play knight of 3, but still, it's going in the other direction doesn't make any sense.
e5.
Yeah, e5, but you have to see what the reply to knight takes e5 is.
g5.
Yeah, I think this is probably the reason. At first, I just couldn't believe, because the game actually continued. White played knight b3. And black played queen c7 check, bishop f4, e5, bishop g5, d5. You just know this never ends well for white, because f4 check happens, and then the king, the king ended its life somewhere around the h4 square. And common sense just dictates that the king never survives when it's on h4. So you have to try to prevent it ever reaching the h4 square. And I was wondering, what on earth could make him not play knight of 3 there? Because if after check, bishop f4, e5, knight takes e5, if black has to take on e5 here, this is maybe not so horrible for white. We can play something like queen c3. Black probably has to play something like d6, and we can play like e3 here and pretend that the game continues. Yeah. And maybe it actually is sort of continuing, because I'm maybe 2 moves away from being completely fine. Like if I can play h3, king h2 next, I'm not even doing so badly. The question is, maybe I'm still getting mated here after g5, but at least it's kind of playable for white. And then I realized that after knight e5, g5, everything just completely collapses, because black.
And also, notice that the knight on g4 is very important, because the king.
Yeah, the knight on g4 is hugely important because it doesn't let the king come back to.
It's like the only thing keeping black's position winning.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And this is why I think you have to recognize how strong these ideas are in positions like this. But once again, I wanted to have a conversation with you about this position, because it's not a puzzle in the strictest sense of the word, because there's a lot of things you need to consider after knight f2. But I think the important takeaway here is, when your opponent is so poorly developed, you should at least be asking yourself, yes, I can play d5. Yes, my position after d5 will be completely fine. Maybe I'm even better after d5. But maybe there is more, because my opponent is doing things which don't look right. And maybe I can already start punishing him for it. Okay, next position. And the next position is actually a proper puzzle. Black's position already looks very, very suspect. But perhaps maybe not sensing the danger properly, or maybe he was already kind of resigned to his fate. Lajos Portish here played knight b6, and this allows for a very beautiful final blow. You've muted yourself, Tani. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my dad.
Okay.
Knight takes g7.
Knight g7, we take
bishop f6.
Yep, bishop f6, and here probably black realized that if you take the queen, there is the usual construction. So he played bishop e7, and Here, I suspect
98. Wait.
no, hang on. I think it is not very clear, right?
Yeah,
There's probably two moves
yeah.
that win here, but they're kind of the same move.
Queen F2.
Yeah, I think it's basically a stylistic choice if you choose F3 or F2. In the game, I think white played Queen F3 and black resigned, but I think black also
Queen
resigns.
F2 could be a better choice because you're attacking B6.
Yeah, but you're not gonna need it though. I'm pretty sure you're never ever going to need it to attack b6 in this game. But yeah, no points will be taken away from suggesting Queen f2 because the threat now is something like knight a6 or knight h5 or knight e8 anywhere, and if king g8.
Wait, I guess maybe if you go Queen f3, there's bishop e2.
Not really, because we can already do things, right? We can do this, and then this.
Darn it. Well, he has bishop g4. Ah.
Yeah, it continues. It continues for one more move, but it doesn't really stop anything. So yeah, this is a very it's a very famous example, but not a very difficult one. How about this? This is obviously like, it's interesting to me. I don't even know this for sure, but I have a pretty decent idea, and I wonder if you can tell me, when you look at this outline, can you tell me what you think the opening was?
The opening, maybe a Sicilian.
Yeah, it's probably Sicilian, but which one?
Grand Prix?
Yeah, I think it's just the closed. I don't think. I think Spassky was. Yeah, Spassky was more famous for playing the closed Sicilian than what is now called the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix is a lot more modern, I think, and people weren't playing a lot of the Grand Prix in those years. I'm pretty sure it's just the e4, c5, knight c3, and then g3, bishop g2, and so on. I think Spassky played. No, it's I wouldn't be asking you if it was white to move. If it was white to move, it wouldn't be.
I thought it was bishop takes d6.
Yeah, I mean,
king e8, queen g8, king d7, queen takes f7, and you pick up the rook on a2.
Yeah, that's not a bad solution, but I think even queen takes g7 after king e8 is completely winning. So that wouldn't have been a very, very good puzzle, because you really can't go very wrong there. But here you do have to calculate.
Bishop h6.
Okay. I think this one is difficult enough, so I don't have to. I'm not going to ask you to give me the entire line. I take.
Rook takes f6.
Rook f6.
Rook A1 it loses check, to rook a1.
Nah, you have to be faster than that, right? You can't allow black. Yeah, you can't allow black to start his own counterplay.
Oh, queen h8, knight takes f6.
Okay.
Such a devastating knight.
It's a very nice knight on f6, but it's not. It's kind of shaky, right? And you would like to play something like rook takes f4 here, but unfortunately rook a1 is once again a problem. Yeah. So what do we do?
If rook e1, there's bishop e5.
Rook e1, there is bishop e5, yes. It's a curious position because it looks like our king on h1 is also very, very unsafe. But somewhat surprisingly, currently black cannot touch it in any way, right? We are controlling all the squares we need to control, but we need to create a threat.
G5.
Good. So we got here. G5 is a very important move because once again there are no checks to the king on h1, and we have created this huge threat of queen e8 mate. But the king runs forward.
Queen e8 check.
Okay.
I mean, queen takes f7.
Yeah, you kind of want to take on f7, right? I'm very happy that you didn't even suggest queen takes c6. It just doesn't look right to take material here. You want to be giving mate, right?
Yeah.
So queen f7, we have created a threat of knight e4 discover check, and then we will have some kind of mate, right?
And you also can pick up the rook on e2.
Yeah, but I think mate kind of takes precedence here. I think we are happy.
Now I'm just saying, if you don't have mate, yeah, but this
yeah.
takes f7.
So rook c7, trying to stop the mate. Here, unfortunately, we have actually to take some material because knight d7, king takes g5, the king runs. So we take on c7.
Just take.
King takes g5, and you still actually. You still have to be quite precise because after knight e4, king h6, I think the game kind of restarts. Because once again, we cannot take because of rook a1. We don't actually.
So go back one move.
Yeah, we have to do something else. What other options do we even
Queen
have
e7.
here? Very good. So what happens if black takes?
H4.
H4 and rook takes f4, right?
Yeah.
So after queen e7.
Queen e4 mate. After king
yeah,
f5,
that's
queen e4.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, queen e4. You get points.
King g4.
No, it's not mate. Sorry, yeah, you were so excited, and I wanted to give you additional points, but unfortunately, this is not mate. But okay, after queen e7, black still continues defending. Goes queen e3. And I'll just show you you have to find the last very.
What about knight? H4 check.
H4. I think they probably take, right?
Okay, then knight e4 check.
Yeah, knight e4 is good. So they go to h5, and this is where you have to find the last very
queen h7.
Queen h7, bishop h6, and yeah, this is the position I wanted to, the final position of the puzzle.
Knight f6, queen takes, and knight g4.
Knight f6, king h4. Unfortunately, it goes forward. There's actually still it's still very possible to go wrong here. I think after knight f6, king h4, you might be in trouble because it's actually very difficult to stop queen takes h3.
Yeah, go back.
But there is a way here to sort of reestablish control.
Queen d7.
Yes, I think this is probably the cutest move of the entire sequence.
Move.
Yeah, because you have lured all the black pieces to the side, and then once again, it looks like there's a lot of counterplay against our king on h1. But in fact, we've protected against queen takes h3, and there is no good way to stop
bishop g5.
Bishop g5 wasn't played. I'm trying to figure out why it wasn't played. Why wasn't this played?
Probably queen g4 and rook g1.
Yeah, that's actually a good solution. Although, considering what happened in the game, black probably continues here. Because if you have to play some kind of an endgame after queen takes g5, the pawn on c2 will fall. And I'm not sure how easy it is to win because the b pawn will be very, very strong. So maybe queen g2 is winning here. Maybe this is the point. Queen g2, and then we take on g5 with the knight. But there's b3. So I'm not. Let's look for something cleaner here. I have a feeling there has to be a cleaner solution. But I don't see it. It's maybe just Rook G1 first. This is probably the solution, right? We go Rook G1 here.
Oh, maybe Rook G1 first. Wait,
Yeah, we go Rook G1, and now we are threatening Queen H7, Queen takes G6.
But
and
if Rook G1, there's Queen
Oh no,
F3
there's Queen
check.
F3. There's Queen F3. Sorry, I'm going completely mad. No,
Queen
this is
F3 and you lose.
Yeah, we lose. Yeah, we don't win. We don't. That's
just Queen G4 check and Rook G1. That's the fastest way.
Maybe Queen G4 and H4 is better, and then Rook G1. This is probably.
But now
I like this the best.
I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best. And if the bishop, let's say, goes to E7 after Rook G1, there's no way to stop Queen takes G6 mate. Anyway, so this is
hand.
Yeah, you shake the hand, and
just like in Queen's Gambit, Borgoff. It was like the coach was like, "Now you resign."
Now you resign, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Tip your
there is. It's an iconic moment, and one final position here after Rook F7. No, white to move. I would not be asking you. After Rook F7, first off, which opening?
French.
Absolutely. This is a knight c3 French. It's very easily recognizable. And
because of the pawn on E F5.
Yeah, this entire structure, it just screams. It just screams it's a French. And there is a kind of a more stylish solution, but I suspect there is two solutions.
C takes D3.
Yes, you're doing very well after C takes D3, but you give Black a tempo to develop, and you will have to win this game slowly. And we would like to win this game kind of faster and more efficiently. So let's try to do that.
Oh, castle queenside.
Yeah, I think if you castle, it's not worse. I think once again for style points, I think Khalifman's move King D2 is probably slightly more style points. But the idea of connecting the rooks here and creating a brute force threat of rook to bishop takes G7 is what you have to see.
King G2 is just a cherry on top.
Yeah, King G2 is a very nice move to make in the game.
Salt and pepper.
And honestly, it's probably slightly better than long castles, because after long castles, you still kind of have to calculate some kind of queen E7, queen takes A3 shenanigans, which probably, they probably don't work, but you still have to calculate them for like 10 seconds. And if you go King D2, you just know that this king will never, ever be, troubled by anything. And Black played bishop E6, and now we just go in, bishop takes G7. And the question is, what happens after King H8 here?
Yeah, the Queen's Gambit was the janitor that said that. Yeah, keep going. Knight H4.
Yeah, you just go knight H4. This is the last move that you need to see, because if you try to do it just by attacking the G7 square, you might never actually get there, because Queen F8 is very efficient. But after knight H4, the threat of knight G6 check just is too much, and Black cannot really do anything about it. Actually, I think the biggest threat in this position is not knight G6 itself. If Black plays some kind of a move, I think the way to win here, the cleanest win will be Queen H6 first, and then knight G6 after Black plays Queen F8 or something. And if Black goes knight E7, we just take on F6, and once again, the knight will land on G6 and win. So this actually does conclude the not just one set, but 1.5 set of positions I wanted to show you. And unsurprisingly, I don't think you have too many issues with, with tactical foresight. I didn't expect you to have many issues, and I did not really see too many problems in this hour of solving. I'm still kind of shocked how long it took you to play bishop d7, bishop c6, bishop h1 in the very, very first one.
No, because I had the idea like 10 seconds, but I
Mhm.
just needed to make the idea happen.
Yeah, honestly, I think
the stalemate I had in like 10 seconds.
Mm, yeah, but somewhat weirdly, I think that was the one that took us the longest time of all the almost 20 positions we've looked at today. Somehow I started with what I thought was just warm up, and it ended up being maybe the most difficult one that we discussed. But yeah, I continue enjoying this greatly and being very, very impressed by what you're showing, Tani. So thanks for hanging with me, and
See you
we'll
later,
do more of these eventually.
Yeah.
But for today, well played, and I think the production side will be in touch with you to give you potential homework. But I'm very happily not in charge of that, so please don't blame me for homework.
Also, follow Peter on his Twitch. There's Alberto.
Yeah.
Alberto.
You see, honestly, people, I did not ask for this plug, but it's very heartwarming that Tani actually does promotional work for my Twitch.
Hearthstone and chess.
Yeah, there's a lot of very mediocre Hearthstone, and there's also some reasonably decent chess on the channel occasionally. So yeah, if
sometimes decent.
If any of those things interest you, I do occasionally stream. Thanks very much, Tani. Your check is in the mail.
All right.